About myself, just to get started, so you know who you're dealing with. I suppose I'm a retired actor, and I'm a very proud brother. I founded an organisation called Love Your Sister, and our aim is to vanquish cancer. Thanks so much for having us, by the way.
Oh, no worries, thank you for coming.
Yeah. If I could share my sister's story just briefly with you, I'd really appreciate it. She, I don't know whether any of you know, but she had breast cancer for a while, maybe 6 or 7 years, and she died last year before she could see us raise the $10 million, which was our joint goal. We're now just over 9.5 million. Your money today will help me edge closer to the 10 million, so thank you. Feel free to sell the kids, auction off your grandma, and just leave it all over here. My sister's death was preventable. The first line of treatment they gave her didn't work. The second line of treatment they gave her didn't work. It takes 3 months to decide before you can tell whether the medication's taking or not. The third line of medication didn't work, and then on the fourth line of medication, she finally tried Xeloda, and it worked, and it kept her alive for quite a while. But she did look at me kind of during all this and say, Sam, this was preventable. Don't know whether you guys have heard of personalised medicine. What you can do is you can take a sample, a tissue sample of that cancer, walk it into the lab, genetically test it against all the medicines, and work out which medicine is going to respond best to that cancer. Then you walk it back to the hospital bed. It only costs about $1,500. Then you walk back to the hospital bed and you say, okay, Connie, Xeloda's going to work. We're not going to bother wasting millions of dollars on false lines of treatment while your cancer gets worse. By the time the correct medication for my sister was found, it was too late. It was in her liver, lung, spine, pelvis, knee. It was everywhere. She had no chance. I've gone around after she died and spoken to all of the scientists, and I've asked them about personalised medicine, and it's the hot button issue for them. They believe, and now Love Your Sister endorses and supports, personalised treatment for all cancer patients in the country. What we actually need, according to the scientists, is to take that tissue sample, to test it so that we can personally treat that cancer individually, and then we need to store those tissues in the National Metastatic Tissue Bank, and we need to take the genetic map of that cancer and put it into a database and let the algorithm solve it. At the moment, we're not mapping every cancer genetically, we're not putting it in a national library, and we're not personally treating our patients. It's not happening. It wasn't happening when my sister got sick 7 years ago, and it's not happening now. Why? Lots of reasons why. Lots of reasons why. No, it's nobody's fault per se, but we're operating on an old system that was developed pre-genome. And post-genome, we need a new system, and that's personalised medicine. You ask anyone, the whole world's moving towards it. So I've decided, as the head of cancer vanquishment at Love Your Sister, that it's my job to make sure that this cure doesn't come a day later than it ought. I've decided that these poor scientists need someone speaking for them because they haven't been able to prosecute their argument effectively. I've decided that person's me. I've decided that I'm going to go around Australia and try and get 100,000 people on my side for this. If I get 100,000 people on my side wanting to push through personalised medicine for all patients, then I can raise $1 million a month. If 100,000 people come in at $10 a month, $2.50 a week. I've deliberately kept the ask really small. I'm hoping it's an amount that you can't feel. If you're currently going through treatment, I'm not asking this of you. I'm sick of bleeding families that are suffering. I'm more calling out for the friends and family. So that's the dream. I want 100,000 people in at $10 a month so that I can raise $1 million a month within 2 years. That'll give me $20 million in seed funding to actually create this push and make it real. I've had the thing costed. It's going to cost me $150 million to set up this National Metastatic Tissue Bank. And they're going to listen if I've got some people power behind me. I'm not really going to talk about this publicly for another year or so until I know that it's what the country wants. So I'm going town to town, and I suppose I'm wondering whether Maroochydore wants to come in on my fuck cancer bank, because that's what I've called it. I won't call it anything else. So I suppose that's the pitch. That's what I'm asking for. I'm going around town to town and asking people to join me in an army that can actually make this issue real. I want to put it on the public agenda, I want to prosecute it, and I want everyone talking about it, and that's the way that we're going to actually achieve outcomes. You won't get fancy things in the mail every 2 months with glossy brochures and little giveaways and wristbands and fucking and ribbons and all of that kind of stuff. I'm so sorry, kids. Swear jar. So yeah, you won't get much for it. You'll get a little certificate, Canada. Although I'm really happy to write you out a little certificate to sign it personally as my way of saying thanks. Apart from that, you'll just get an email from me twice a year letting you know what's happening with the fund and how it's going. So that's a pitch. I'm also here to do photos. I'm also here to sign stuff, to say hello to all of you. Oh yeah, we have the Mirrorball trophy. This little mongrel one dancing with the stars. Thank you. To anyone here that voted for me, there's got to be one of you come over and say so that I can lavish love on you. If you'd like to get a photo, I know, right? But we're getting married. She gets more than a hug. You know what? If she had to put the E on your, I'd be in. So please do come up and grab a selfie. If you want to pick with the Mirrorball trophy, that's fine too. And if you'd like to sign up to the Cancer Bank, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for coming.